Well, hello, guys. Welcome to BB True Crime. I'm Beth, that's Becky.
I am. We are here with another case that she assures me will traumatise me. So I'm looking forward to it. I've had two very sad cases.
Oh, we're about to spice it
So
up, lads.
now we're about to add a bit of spice.
We are, and this one, I'm gonna give it a trigger warning.
Oh, great. When you start with a trigger warning, that's when you know things are going to go bad.
Well, it's very gory.
It's spicy.
It's spicy.
It's spicy.
Okay. Becky has no idea about anything to do with this case.
Never heard this one before in my life.
So today we're covering Ed Gein, very famous killer. I won't say serial killer, but actually, I personally would class him as a serial killer because some deaths he's a bit sus in. So I still think he's killed them.
You see, when you start with "I feel like he's a serial killer," makes me wonder where we're going.
Oh, we're going on a journey.
Because if he's not if he's not classified as a serial killer, then what kind of killer is he?
Well, he's definitely a unique one. He has inspired many things in popular culture, including some of the most well-known horrors of all time. But let's just say we think we have like family issues. Oh no!
This guy takes the pick.
He's gone through it.
Okay, he's gone through it. All right, that's fair.
He
haven't we all?
He's an odd one.
He's an odd one.
That's very putting it lightly. I'm just saying. Right. So.
Oh God, I'm scared.
We're gonna start off with the basis of what he's done.
The basis,
and then we're gonna get into his early life.
Okay.
And you'll see why and how and what happens. Okay. So, Ed Gein. It's known as Edward Theodore Gein, also known as the Butcher of Plainfield or the Plainfield Ghoul. He's an infamous American killer and body snatcher.
Did I
take from
body snatcher?
A body snatcher. You won't see that in many cases that we cover. That's a quite unique one, actually. Not many.
He snatches bodies.
He snatches bodies. Yeah. So quite unique in that part. His crimes were done in and around his hometown of Plainfield in Wisconsin. He was known to exhume corpses from graveyards, and he kept trophies and decorations made from their skin and bones. Yeah.
You give me the best cases.
I know. He confessed to killing 2 women, so to make a serial killer
you have to kill 3 within a certain period of time?
Yeah. So I think they've gotten rid of like the time part now, but it's just 3. You have to get to 3. So technically he's not classed as a serial killer, but like I said, there are several deaths that happen around him that are a bit suspicious.
Oh, great.
And he's still also a suspect in a few crimes.
Awesome.
So I'm going to class him as one.
She classes him as a serial killer. I will tell you whether I class him as a serial killer at the end.
Oh, believe me. She will. Yeah, so he confessed to killing 2 women. So I'm going to assume Plainfield is a pretty small town. So he killed the tavern owner, Mary Hogan.
Tavern owner?
Why is that the funny part?
Nobody calls it a tavern anymore.
Well, they did.
And they called it a tavern.
They called it a tavern, and also Wikipedia did. So, eat that.
Oh, you're right. Wikipedia is absolutely a reliable source.
Oh, of course it is. Yeah, so the tavern owner, Mary Hogan, in 1954. So not actually that long ago. And the hardware store owner, Bernice Warden, in 1957.
Bernice.
We're going to be hearing a lot about her in the future.
Okay, all right. Bernice's personal interest.
She's quite a big star of this one.
Bernice,
yeah.
Right.
He was found unfit to stand trial and sent to a mental health facility. In 1968, he went eventually to trial when he was found a bit more stable and found guilty. However, was found legally insane and so remained at the Psychiatric Institute until he died in 1984, age 77, and he now lays in an unmarked grave in the Plainfield Cemetery.
Ah.
Now, I'm just saying.
The old unmarked grave.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm just saying, right, first of all, I want to point out that although his grave is unmarked,
yes,
people know
where
it is.
Mm-hmm.
He did originally have a headstone, but apparently
it was defaced, stolen.
Tourists and the like to come and steal bits of the headstone. And then the police found that one day someone just stole the whole thing.
That's the best bit of this story so far.
Oh, it's a story. They did eventually find it, but
they did
eventually. But they were like, you know what? Let's just leave this. Someone else might just come and steal it. So
now he's an unmarked grave because somebody had the audacity to steal his head.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
So okay. Yeah. All right. I'm not even gonna question it. Got it.
Yeah, don't. And also, I want to point out, so he's buried in the Plainfield Cemetery.
Yeah.
I get that's where he's lived, but that's also the place where he would exhume these bodies. So I feel like it's a little bit disrespectful that they buried him in the same place that he did this.
I find that vaguely entertaining. I feel like the person who ordered that had a little bit of a kooky sense of humour.
It's just a bit juicy, that one. So, right, so now we're going to go back in time.
Back in time.
And we're going to go to his early life.
Early life.
And to see where it all went wrong, because believe me...
A lot went wrong.
Yeah.
I get that feeling.
It's going to make sense as to why he ended up becoming a killer, because he is insane. And
this is a powerful start there.
Yeah.
I just like to say, this is a powerful start.
I told you, with this case, we were just going to get into it.
Okay. All right.
So, he was born August the 27th, 1906.
That was his first mistake.
I know. Well, his parents were clearly making mistakes before that, so that's all I'm going to say on that. His mother hated his father, as his father was an alcoholic who was unable to hold down his job. So, already, great
Straight
start.
out the bat, strong start.
Yeah.
Loathing.
Problematic family, there we go. Ticked all them boxes. The family... They lived on a farm in Plainfield, and they lived in isolation. Gein was only allowed to leave the farm to go to school. That was it. He also had a brother named Henry, at a similar age. But yeah, the same thing applied to his brother. They weren't allowed to leave the farm for anything else but school.
I love it. Right from the start, we're straight in there with, social interaction.
Yeah, is at zero.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So Ed spent the rest of this time, especially as a child, working on the farm, doing all the little farm chores, everything like that. His mother is probably the most problematic person in this whole case, besides from Ed himself.
Great.
His mother was intensely religious. Yeah, it's one of those. She liked to preach to her children, Ed and Henry, about the immorality of the world. 3 things. That's number 1. The evil of drinking.
Ah, yes.
As you know, that his father liked to do.
I mean, to be fair, I think she has a fair reason to hate drinking.
Yeah.
I don't think it has much to do with preaching, though, and everything to do with her abusive husband.
Oh, everything with... Well, we don't even know if he was abusive. He just liked to drink, right? That was it. It doesn't say anything about abusive father. It could have been...
Saying, how often do serial killers have alcoholic fathers who aren't abusive? I'm just throwing that out there.
There is no point in any way that it says the father was abusive to him or his brother.
Okay.
Maybe to the wife, I don't know, but I was unable to find that.
Okay, all right.
Fair enough. The 3rd thing she preached to her children was that all women, and I put in brackets here, except herself.
Okay.
Were naturally promiscuous and instruments of the devil.
Like coochie satanic.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
But,
I had to.
That is every woman but herself. Clearly, she is a saint of all saints.
Her coochie ain't satanic.
Her coochie is not satanic. She is clearly God herself.
Yeah. Did you not know this?
She's clearly an angel of the people. No.
Let's not go that far.
Every afternoon, and I mean every afternoon, she would read them Bible verses.
My favourite pastime.
Always. But it takes it up a notch. Because it wasn't just, the standard Bible verses you get in like primary school. No. These were only Bible verses about murder, death, or divine retribution. That was it. Every afternoon, for however long. Beautiful. Death, murder, and divine retribution. That's all they got. Ed was known to be shy as a kid, but the school he went to, his classmates, everyone in the school, did describe him to be a bit strange. So I don't really know if he was really with it even when he was younger, or if it was just how he grew up.
Okay.
He used to. Have you ever seen the film Joker?
Yes.
Right. He randomly bursts out laughing all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ed did that.
Ed did that.
Ed did that.
He did. His mother would also punish him whenever he tried to make friends. Because what else would a mother do?
Some world-class parenting just there.
Oh yeah, for sure. However, he actually did really well in school. Apparently he was very good at reading.
Good boy. Well done.
Well, I don't know if good boy is quite that, but
congratulations for being a intelligent boy, even if
he's a bit
weird.
Yeah. So, a few years later, April the 1st, 1940, his father died from heart failure due to his drinking. So, Ed and his brother Henry had to start doing small jobs around the town to help with the money problems. Actually, they were quite well liked in the community. They were apparently very reliable and honest, and got on with it. Did quite well in the little jobs they did.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a guy to do a job for you.
Ed even liked to babysit. Apparently he got on better with the kids than he did adults.
Oh, I mean, that's a mood. Fair. I can't blame him for that. Oh,
For sure. However, this is when I say it's when it slightly starts going downhill, but it's already going downhill.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's gone. It's sliding already there.
It's okay. This is the next hiccup.
At no point has his life made an improvement so far.
No,
so
and it's only gonna get worse. So his brother began dating and planned to move in with this woman he was dating. Henry was quite worried about Ed and his attachment to their mum. Quite a lot, Henry, in front of Ed, had spoken quite ill about their mother, and Ed did not take that very well. He often was shocked or hurt by the comments his brother would make about their mum. So clearly there was quite, a closeness there, unfortunately, between Ed and his mother. Henry not so much. Think he saw
how I feel about it.
The toxicness of his mother.
Yeah, I'm glad one of them did.
Well, it's not going to go downhill for Henry, let's just say. So.
Please don't tell me he's the first death.
He is the first death. If we're not counting the father, yes, he is.
Wait, what?
Well, the father obviously died.
Oh, I thought you meant like a murder. No, I was talking about murder, the first murder.
The father's death is unsuspicious.
Father's dead, got it.
He was just an alcoholic.
Got it.
So, on May 16th, 1944...
I'm going to need Jesus for this one.
Well, yeah, for this whole case, we're going to need Jesus. And we ain't going to get him.
Excellent.
The brothers were working on the farm when a large fire broke out.
Oh, it's funny that, isn't it?
Yeah. Shit. Ed then reported his brother missing. So there was an investigation, and Henry was found dead, his body laying face down. However, he had been dead for some time, and the cause of death at first seemed to be heart failure. However, because he wasn't burned at all, and I mean like at at all. There was no soot, no fire-looking stuff on him at all. Nothing.
The descriptors in this case.
I know, I'm literally just doing, here I am. They also didn't see any, like, major injuries, so later on, he was re-examined, and a lot was changed. He was found to have bruises on his head.
Oh,
and
that's not suspicious at all.
Asphyxia actually became the cause. When Ed was, like, interrogated, like, properly about, like, the murders and stuff, he was also asked about the death of his brother, and he did not really say much about that.
He was not vibing with that.
But I'm just saying it's a bit suspicious, and I think, I'm going to put it out there now, I think he killed his brother, because he was talking smack about his mum. That's what I think happened. So, Henry's dead.
Henry is dead.
So not long after Henry died, his mum had a paralysing stroke.
Ah.
What a shame.
So sad.
Yeah. So Ed decided that he would take care of her. She later had a second stroke, and the second stroke made her health worsen rapidly. And she later died, December 29th, 1945. So that's what, a year or just so after his brother's death. Ed was actually devastated by her death. And this is just when it gets worse.
Oh.
So,
yay.
He kept the farm. He got money from, like, the government, I guess, to, like, keep him going. He did, like, odd jobs still every now and then, but he didn't really leave the farm much.
Okay.
He kept to himself. He boarded up any room in the house that his mother would frequent.
So he's entered a sign of a very, very, very slight psychosis just here.
Just a tad.
The man's having some troubles. He's struggling a bit.
Yeah, that's putting it lightly. So when the investigators did investigate the house, they found that like the house was a pigsty, except for the rooms he had boarded up, which were in pristine condition. And this man boarded up pretty much the entire house. All he had to live in for himself was the kitchen and one really small room. And this was a big house.
This man is unstable.
Yeah, a little bit. So, yeah, the man boarded up just pretty much the entire thing. Yeah. This is also really random, but apparently he also liked reading about cannibals and Nazis. Take from that what you will. So,
I mean, you like reading about serial killers, but...
Right, okay, right. People have their interests. I'd just like to comment that me and Ed's interests are not the same. That's all I'm saying.
Alright.
So now we're getting into when people start going missing.
This old chestnut.
Yes. So, November 16th, 1957. So it's been quite a few years since his mum's died. And I'm just saying, he's probably been already doing suspicious stuff before this.
But this is the first time it's noted.
Yes. So this is the main thing that gets him sort of caught, if you will. So, November 16th, 1957, Bernice, if you remember, she's the hardware store owner, disappears. Her son, who is actually the town deputy, found the store till open when he went to investigate, the shop. And he found, the till was also empty, and he found blood on the floor. Now, Ed had been seen to go into the shop, and the receipt was still there from when he was there, and he'd ordered, for some reason, and this is never explained what he needed this for, so I'm not going to question it, but he ordered a very, very large amount of antifreeze. But nothing else is ever written on that, so... Bit weird. But yeah, so the till showed that he was the last customer that was served. So that's why they were like, okay, let's arrest him, interrogate him, that kind of thing. So
fair.
He was arrested, and his house was searched.
Okay.
Now it's gonna get crazy from here. So I'm warning you now.
Brace myself for.
You're gonna hear some things. It's gonna get very graphic. So if you're not into that, turn this off now.
And if you're not into that, why are you listening to a serial killer podcast?
Also very true. So, when his house was searched, so the farm,
yes,
Bernice's decapitated body was found. Yeah, good start.
I see why you were mentioning the head earlier.
Oh no, gets worse. Her decapitated body, so head missing, was found in his shed, hung upside down, with a crossbar at the ankle and ropes around her wrist. She had also been shot, and after death she was mutilated. And have you ever seen, you know, when someone like a hunter, when they skin a deer, they like open up the skin to like, I'm not gonna say wings, but if you've seen the TV show Hannibal, kind of like wings, a bit like that.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and that's what scares me.
Yeah, so he'd done that with the skin, right? So.
Yeah, so he blood eagled her.
Yeah, blood eagle. Yeah, basically. Yeah.
I was trying to think of what the name is for when they do that. I was like searching.
So they searched his house, and this only obviously being the parts that he lived in, so the kitchen and the small room.
Small. Okay, here we go.
When I was reading this list, it was just never ending, and a part of me is like disgusted, but then a part of me is kind of like intrigued, and I would have loved to have seen the inside of this house. Weirdly enough.
Beth,
so
you have imbalances.
I know, it's okay, trauma. So I'm about to give you a list of shit they found at the house.
Oh, God.
And it's a lot of stuff. You're gonna wish this list was over before it is, so I'm warning you now.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Go for it.
They found whole human bones and fragments of human bones.
Yeah.
A bin, so like the trash can if you're American, made of human skin. Human skin-covered seats on the chairs.
Oh, yeah.
Skulls on his bedposts.
That's
good thing to see, you know, when
spicy.
you wake up in the morning.
That's spicy.
Female skulls with some of the top sawn off. Bowls made from human skulls. A corset made from a female's torso, skinned from shoulders to waist. Leggings made from human leg skin. Masks made from the skin of female heads. That I'd also like to comment that he was known to wear these items. So earlier I did mention there was another victim that he confessed to killing, Mary, the tavern owner. So her face, the mask of her face, so literally the skin peeled off from her face.
Yeah, no, I got that about 3 faces ago.
It was found in a paper bag. Imagine opening that. Her skull was then also found in a box. Bernice's, back to Bernice now. Her entire head was found in a sack. Just one of them big brown sacks, like potatoes come in, one of those. Her head was just in there. Her heart was also found in a plastic bag.
He liked baggying things, didn't he?
Yeah. 9 female vulvas were found in a shoebox. Yeah. Don't know where these 9 came from. I'm going to assume bodies he'd dug up. I hope. A young girl's dress from a 15-year-old was found. Apparently 2 of the vulvas that were in the shoebox were also identified to come from children.
Oh, it's one of these chestnuts, is it?
Yep. There was a belt made from female nipples.
I mean, sometimes you just need a belt made from nipples, Beth.
Honestly, I don't know why more people don't have that.
I don't know. This should be a fashion accessory. Maybe it should be.
Apparently, this whole house was just fashion.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah, man before his time.
Yeah. For some reason, 4 noses were just out and about.
That's a bit disturbing.
A pair of lips were connected to, you know, the string you pull for your curtains?
Yeah.
Yep, just some lips on that string.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So, you know.
Was all these body parts not decontaminating?
How do you mean?
Like, flesh rots.
It does, yeah.
So is this all, like, partly rotten?
I mean, I'm guessing.
The smell of that house. Oh, the smell.
The poor investigator.
Scrub Daddy's never gonna fix that.
No, it's
God
not.
almighty.
There was also a lampshade made from the skin of a human face and fingernails from female hands. So that was all the items found in his house. And he only had 2 rooms, so can you imagine how full of just shit was in these 2 rooms? The smell of these 2 rooms. Oh my god. So,
I'm thinking and I'm traumatised just thinking.
I know. And apparently it was a shit den, so I'm not surprised from the sounds of it. I'm just saying, in the police report, it just says, in quotation marks, that these items that were found were decently disposed. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if they buried them or cremated them.
Might have cremated them.
I don't know, but they decently disposed of them. Quite nice to know, I guess.
Yeah.
So Ed told police that he visited graveyards over 40 times. Sometimes he would dig up bodies, sometimes he wouldn't. Sometimes he would just steal things from recently buried bodies. Sometimes he would actually take the bodies. He was known for, so you know when a funeral goes on, the casket is like buried in the ground, but they haven't filled it yet.
Yeah.
So he would wait outside people's funerals while they had the funeral on. They would leave, and then before someone could fill in the grave, he would beat them to it.
Yeah, he'd hop on in there.
He'd be the first to it, man. He was in there.
He's like a tiny little vulture.
So he would often also exhume the graves of women that resembled his mother.
Right, and if that doesn't scream mommy issues...
Oh no, the next sentence is so much worse. So his overall plan, his overall goal with all this skin and stuff, it's bad.
Stan, that's a fact that you just said that sentence.
Oh, I'm about to say an even worse one, believe me. He said that he was trying to create a woman's suit that could so that he could become his mother, and he could, in quotations, crawl into her skin.
Oh, that's so problematic.
And I'm just saying, if anyone out there, if any of you think you've got mummy issues, right, let me tell you why you're wrong. This guy
is the definition of mummy issues.
That's all I'm going to say, this guy. I refuse to believe anyone could have worse mummy issues than this guy. You've got people that hate their mum.
Crawl into her skin.
But then you've got people that love their mum, and Ed was definitely on that side of the spectrum.
Oh, I think he was kind of in the middle.
He definitely...
I think he loved to hate her.
Oh, the thing is, he didn't hate her at all. He loved her a bit too much.
Clearly. Oh.
Understatement.
Oh, God.
He then also randomly stated that he denied having sex with any of the bodies he exhumed.
I feel like you're about to say but.
I mean, the fact he just randomly said this is a bit weird. I don't know if they'd asked him that and he said no, but bit sus.
I would love to think that he was like, I would never do that. I would never go that far. I may be this, but I'm not a monster.
Yeah, like, I want to make a skin suit of my mom, but I would never have sex with corpses that look like my mom. What am I, a monster?
God, I can't believe you'd think I'd do that.
Like, I'll dig up dead bodies, but I'm not into incest. Like, nah.
That's the line. That's the line right there.
He apparently also kept small heads from the Philippines that were from World War II in his house. He apparently also used these are real people as well, the shrunken head things.
Yeah, I know.
He also apparently used these as masks to wear as well. Let's go with it. Like I said, he is also the suspect in several other murders and missing people in the area. So I do believe he is a serial killer on all accounts. The sheriff, during questioning, smashed his head into a brick wall. And so the confession that Ed gave was then unusable in court.
In contempt.
Yeah, because he'd been assaulted during confession. So that was good. He was diagnosed to have schizophrenia, at the very least, anyway.
Well, I mean, that is a surprise to nobody.
No, literally. He did also try to say that the killing of Bernice, so the hardware store owner, who was shot, was accidental and that his gun accidentally discharged. Yeah.
You see, when they start writing musicals about how the gun just went off...
Yeah, it just went off, guys. And then he took her body back to his shed and...
decapitated her
had
and...
a whole adventure with her. And,
turned it into a party playground.
You know, kept her head in a bag and whatever else. Heart in a box.
He can shut up. He a liar.
His house did become, after he was convicted, a tourist attraction.
Of course it did. This is America.
I would definitely have visited the house. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know. It's okay. It's okay. However, there was a fire in the house and it burned down.
Great. This is what I wanted to hear. This is the correct response.
No direct confirmation of the fire was confirmed, but arson is strongly suspected.
Well, considering the resident,
yeah,
are you surprised?
Not really, no. I'm just surprised they didn't knock it down, considering what he did. But yeah, it burned down anyway.
Imagine being like, oh, this is the house where the man had a box of vulvas.
Don't forget the belt made of nipple.
The belt and the lips on the drawstring.
I mean, none of that stuff was in the house when people went, like, to look around it. But...
Well, I'm aware of that, but just to think that there had been a box of vulvas in that house.
That person that you were imitating would have been me dragging you around that house.
You would have been dragging me around there like, and that's the room where he had the box of vulvas.
I wonder which curtain it was that he had, you know, the lip string on. Wow. And you were just like, Beth, please, let us leave. Just you starting the fire.
I would commit arson to get out of that house.
I'm not surprised. So, and then the thing is, his crime, he didn't commit many crimes. But the thing is, it's what he did with
the crimes he committed, though.
Yeah, they were pretty gruesome. But, like, if you look at other serial killer cases, there are, like, people that kill tens of hundreds. There's, like, insane serial killers out there. This guy isn't even classed as a serial killer. Granted, I still believe he killed his brother, so I'm going to class him as one. Always have done.
I'm with that.
But the thing is, because his case is such an unusual one, and if you look on, like, other serial killer information and cases, yeah, some of them keep trophies, but none of them really have ever since done what he did, especially with the body parts. And so he became just infamous instantly.
Because of what he did.
Yeah, and so he's actually the basis for many horror movie villains and TV shows and films. For example, the most famous being the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh my god.
He is heavily inspired by that serial killer. And just because you haven't seen the film, basically a group of students, they're in this rundown town in the middle of nowhere. They're going on like a holiday or something. Their like car breaks down, obviously. They end up trying to go to some people for help.
Doesn't work, obviously.
They split up.
Oh, it's the first mistake, even I know that.
Yeah. Some of them then go missing, and then the other ones are like, okay, let's try find them. They find this house that is lived in by this cannibalistic family. And the main guy in the house likes to wear his victim's skin.
Well, that sounds eerily familiar, doesn't it?
And his villain name is Leatherface, because he wears the skin of his victims.
It's leather. And
obviously he kills most of them, but one lone girl survives.
That poor girl.
Yeah, she survives. So yeah, that's the basis of that film. He's also, and I didn't know this until I read this, the main, but you know, when I thought about it, I was like, oh, actually, okay, this does make sense why he's the basis of this character. So the famous horror film Psycho, or the newer TV show Bates Motel.
Mother's not quite herself tonight.
Yes, Norman Bates.
Yeah,
he keeps his mother's body in the house and dresses up as his mom and keeps the skin and all that kind of shit. He's the basis for that. He's also the basis for the famous horror movie, the horror movie The House of a Thousand Corpses. I've not actually seen that one yet. At least I don't think I have. It sounds familiar. I read the synopsis. I might just have to rewatch it.
I was just, enthralled by this year's.
And he's also based on their sequel, The Devil's Rejects, which I think I've seen. And then, if you've seen the more newer TV program American Horror Story, the second season is called Asylum, and in it there is a serial killer on the loose that turns out to be, spoiler alert, the doctor at the hospital, Dr. Oliver Thredson, and he lures women, he helps the women, and they end up back to his house, and he kills them and uses their skin for like lampshades and all the sorts of things. He likes to wear their faces, that kind of thing. So he's still very much involved in popular culture today.
You need to get out more.
Let me live my best life. Okay, I like horror, I like true crime. This is why we're doing this. Okay.
We noticed, don't you worry. We noticed.
But yeah, so it's still quite impressive that he's still involved very much and influences popular culture today.
Oh yeah, it's definitely.
But yeah, he died at 77. Unmarked grave, like I said, but people still know where it is, so I'm assuming it's still a tourist attraction today.
Unfortunately, probably.
Yeah. So if you ever want to go down to, Plainfield with me back sometime in Wisconsin, I'm down.
If I go to Wisconsin, let me tell you, okay, that's not where I'm going.
Fine, I'll just go on my own, don't worry about it.
Oh, God, and then you'll make me come anyway.
I will. You'll come voluntarily, because you'll be like, oh, let's not get Beth murdered.
Oh, yeah. Funny that. Oh, no, my best friend might get murdered. I'll have to go with her.
We could die together, or like... And then, the ski solo tour's also on my bucket list. There you go. And, she'll eventually come with me. She says she won't, but I know she will, so it's okay.
I'm going to punish you by making you come to a Cleveland Brown games with me.
I don't know what that is, but alright.
It's an American football team from Cleveland.
Great. From, really? Is it from Cleveland?
Yeah.
Wow.
Cleveland Browns.
Okay, fine. Got it.
Dog pound.
So, how do you feel about Ed Gein, Becky?
I'm numb. I'm numb.
I told you it was
just
a roller
so
coaster.
much going on there. As a character.
He's a character.
I wonder how much of it was just innately him, and how much of it was a product of his environment.
His sort of nature nurture thing. Yeah. Because obviously, if he did really have schizophrenia, that probably was from birth. So there would have been something wrong with them anyway. But then a lot of people that have schizophrenia don't.
I'd like to say there are a lot of people
this.
who have schizophrenia who don't start collecting body parts to create their own mummy skin.
Yeah, exactly. God forbid, I hope not. Yeah, he's certainly a very rare case of that. So I do think it was probably a product of both.
Yeah.
Probably more so than nurture. And I think, honestly, you know, despite his dad being an alcoholic and all this shit, I do think the key person was his mother.
Yeah.
For sure.
For definite.
She
was
a bit
interesting.
Yeah.
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 Definitely.
So I do think his mother is probably the biggest one to blame in this case, to be honest.
But that happens a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, you'll see.
Mums are to blame. Yeah. Mums are psychotic sometimes.
I'm not going to give all the hate to the mums, but you know, it could be either parent.
Yeah.
You know, abusive households. But it looked like Henry, the brother, clearly saw what was going on there and wanted to get out. And it's very unfortunate that clearly he was bitching about his mum to the wrong person, unfortunately.
And it got him offed.
Yeah, and it got him killed. So, suspiciously, I might add. So,
did he ever get charged with the brother's murder? Or was he only investigated?
No, he was actually only officially charged for one murder. And that was the murder of Denise. Yeah. Even though they found the face and stuff of the other woman, they
couldn't prove that he had killed her.
Yeah, they just
could only prove that he
had
her body parts.
Yeah, exactly. That he might have done something with the body. But yeah, they couldn't prove. There was no evidence that he'd killed her, so he was only charged with one. But yeah, he lived out the rest of his days in the psychiatric institute.
This is excellent news for us.
And yeah, died there. And apparently it was just very simply died from, I think it was like a heart problem. Quite similar to his father. But yeah. So when you date someone, just see how their, you know, relationships are with their moms.
Oh God.
And you know, if they love their mum a bit too much, I'm just gonna recommend just back off from that a little bit. I ain't getting involved with that kind of shit. Like, sorry. Nah.
We've added another red flag to the red flag lists that we ignore.
Like, I'm just, you know, I'm into true crime, but I don't want to be involved in the true crime myself, personally. So...
This is good news for me.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. So, that was episode 3 of BB True Crime, Ed Gein. If you liked it, make sure to listen. We've got plenty more coming up.
Much more traumatizing of me to do.
I'm gonna leave the next episode as a surprise.
Oh God.
Mainly because I can't remember what the next episode is, but I have written it down.
You sounded really good there until you were like, mainly because I've forgotten. Like if you just left it would have been fine. It would have been a mystery.
I know, but I want to be honest. And that's my honesty for you. So I'm Beth. That's Becky.
It is. That is Beth. I am Becky.
Join us next time.
Bye bye.